You mentioned Deshaun Watson moments ago. How viable is this? I mean, what is going on with him where all of a sudden now we're reporting about his wish list when there's so much other things, stuff, situations is our catchphrases in the sports world, hanging over him. What's going on with him?
Yeah, we've got the criminal investigation that has not yet resulted in a grand jury completing its work. There was an expectation that would be done the end of January. Here we are halfway through February, and it's not done. There are 22 pending civil cases, and there was an effort to settle those to facilitate the trade to the Dolphins. 18 of the women were ready to go. 4 of them held out, and that's what kept it from happening. And now the window's open for him to be questioned under oath as part of these lawsuits, too. So he just needs to make it all go away. And I don't mean that in a flippant way or just, write a check, but that's how justice gets dispensed in the civil system. You sue someone for an award of monetary damages. So if he can make these 22 individuals feel good about the outcome and move on and get closure, he needs to do it. The problem is, from the lawyer's perspective, the fact that Watson needs these cases to be resolved increases the value of the settlement. Sometimes a settlement is driven by, how much money someone lost when something happened or whatever their emotional distress was. The jury has to figure that out. Sometimes the value comes from what it means to the defendant for this thing to go away, and that drives the price up. And at some point, Watson's just got to accept it and write the check and move on.
Unless there's one person who's like, we waited all this time to get him deposed and under oath. Damn straight we're going to do that. Like that could be happening too, right?
Oh, especially
right?
After most of the people suing him have already had to go through their inherently unpleasant experience of being grilled under oath by someone from Rusty Hardin's law firm, if not Hardin himself. Yeah, that's part of it too. It's hey, I want to sit there while he has to answer these questions. And maybe if he has to go through the process of being grilled by Tony Busby for 8 hours on a Wednesday afternoon at Tony Busby's law office, maybe that's part of the process that's needed to get these folks to the point where they're willing to resolve the case and move on. It's just part of the closure. It's part of the justice. It's a very loose, rough process. It doesn't always have to be a verdict returned by a jury. There are other ways to get people to feel like they've gotten their justice.
But there's also a clock ticking with a new league year that begins, right? And teams are going to have to know. I imagine.
Hey, the quarterback carousel is already going to start spinning. I mean, it was January 30 last year with Matthew Stafford got traded to the Rams unofficially.
Right.
So, I think Aaron Rodgers is the guy that is the first domino this year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the teams that Watson may be interested in playing for may make other arrangements and make it impractical for Watson this year. And the stakes are high for the Texans. They owe him $35 million fully guaranteed. Last year it was $10 million. This year it's $35 million in salary. They need to get this thing done, and they need to move on from him.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.